Discuss about Python functions. So first of all, I hope that everyone know about what is a function. Function is nothing but a reusable block of code. Nothing but if you have 1 lakh lines of code, we can make into small piece of parts and we can reuse the same code repeatedly whenever we required. The main concept of the function is one is avoid the duplication of the code and repeatedly we can use similar code whenever it is required and easy to read and maintain the lengthy programs. For example, imagine a student program is there. Student basic details, one function. Student address, one function. Student education details, another function. Student courses opted, one function. Student attendance, another function. If all together in a single program, then when you are working with the huge thousands of line program, it is very typical to understand when any error is occurred or if you want to do any change on that. That's why the entire program can be splitted and easily maintained. The point number one is avoid code repetition. The second one is make program easy to read and maintain. So, and break large programs into small logical parts. Improve debugging and testing. What is improved debugging and testing is nothing but whenever an error is occurred, we can easily track and trace, identify and rectify. This is possible with the function is we can make into small parts. For example, assume this is 1,000 lines of code, then it's very typical to understand. So we can make it a small piece of code and it is another piece of code and it is another piece of code and it is another piece of code. So like this, we can make a smaller piece of codes. Then very easy to understand if error came in this part, we can easily debug this part of code and rectify the problem. This is the main intention of the function. And second intention, for example, I want to calculate a result of a student. So every student have the different marks. I will write a calculate result. For example, result calculation, I will write a function. It will take input. It will take marks. It will take input as marks. It will process your marks and it will give output as a result. So in this case, this function works like reusable. If we have in our Sarnanda, for example, 6,000 plus students are there. For every student, I cannot write different. The screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
What I'm drawing, it is visible.
VS Code, sir.
VS Code, I'm drawing something, it is visible.
No, sir.
One moment. That's why I'm asking. So, okay. So now it is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yes. Okay. Okay. That's why. Okay. So now I hope that you understand. This is a result code which will take your marks as input and it will do some process like calculate whether all are pass above 35 or not or 40 or not, which grade is acquired. All the grades are meet our as per norms. Then final grade will be released either A grade, O grade, S grade or something. Otherwise, it will give the result of fail or pass or something. So for one student, if I return this code, the same code can be reused for all 6,000 students. So one case is code reusability. The another case is reduce the complexity of the huge program. If it contain 1 lakh lines or 10,000 lines, 5,000 lines of huge code, then we can make into small piece of parts. And if any error occurred, we can easily track and trace and rectify. This is the main advantage of functions. One is code reusability, and second one is making the whole program into small piece of parts. And whenever a problem occurred, easy to debug and test. This is the main motive of the function. Every function is nothing but it is a small piece of code. It is also just like main program, but it has the facility. It will take some input and process something, and it will give some output. Assume, for example, you are organizing a family function. Then what happened? Total function is contain some food managing is one section. Stage decoration is another section, and reception and receiving the guests is another section. For every place, our main family members will stay and look into that. They will take some input, some and process with the existing workers, and ultimately all the people together make that function a grand success. Like this, we can split the entire program into small piece of parts, and each program will receive some input and do some process, and it will give some output to ultimately all the functions will success the main program. If any function is any piece of part, a piece of part has some error, it can easily rectified and identified. Easily we can track it. So this is the main concept of the functions. I hope that it is clear. It is clear.
Sir.
The functions concept
Yes,
is clear. The main concept is reusability. Up to now, we learned the functions in C language, in Java language, but Python functions is completely different because it have more facilities which is not available in C language functions and Java functions. That's why you must please concentrate on each and every program, what we are doing, how we are declaring everything. So in every function, we must declare the definition of the function is there. So in Python, the function must be starts with the def keyword, and every function has some function name. You can give any function name, and function receives some parameters, nothing but arguments. Every function has some arguments. In Python, there is no begin and end blocks. We must use column only. And indentation. Here some space we are leaving. It is nothing but indentation. Okay. So indentation, and we can write our program like statements. What are the statements available? Statements, and we can call this function by using function name. Function name. So it is begin and end of the function definition, and it is nothing but function calling. This function will call this definition, and what are the statements written here, it will execute, and control will go back to the main program. This is the minimum concept of the function. Just a simple hello world program I'm going to write. So for example, hello function dot py. So I'm writing a function of hello underscore function dot py program, which contains some functions. You can write anyway. For example, if you want to print something. Sorry, first I will write the definition. Def say hello function. My function name is say hello. That's all. Say hello is the function name. So it is printing print hello. And whenever I called say hello, it will come and print. This is main program. And I'm calling the function print end of the program. Why I written these two lines? To understand how function will be called. So this is your function. This is your function. The def is the reserved word. Say hello is the function name. At present, in this case, I am not used any parameters, nothing but I did not given any input to the function. And simply I'm writing a print hello. So whenever I call say hello, it will print this line and it will come back to the main program. So to understand this, I'm saving this program and running new terminal. So simply my program name is Python hello underscore fun.py is my program. So hello function is my program. If I run this, so definition is written beginning, but it not called automatically. So first it started execution from print statement. So okay, this is main program and say hello. It is printed something and end of the program. This is like this. Okay, so actually it has some starting problem in my terminal. So that's why it is missing. So this is main program. Hello. And I need to provide some space. I given some character, wrong character in my terminal. Some problem is there. So that's why it is showing like this. And hello and end of the program. And this is this. So simply a simple function and function calling. So this is called function calling. So this is nothing but function definition. So this is nothing but this is nothing but function name. And this is the complete function definition. It is a reserved word. It is the name. Actually, our input we need to give in our as a form of arguments, but at present we did not give in. And hello is our program function, a piece of code I written in say hello. So I am calling this function from this line, and in this place it called the definition, and automatically it is printed here. So program execution started from here. Actually, this is the function already there, but it will not automatically called. We must call it by using function name like this. I hope that this point is clear.
Yes,
This
sir.
point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm writing another type of function. So function with parameters. It will take some input. Function with parameters dot py. Okay, this is the function. So first I need to write my definition. So I'm writing greet. So my function name is greet. I'm taking some input, nothing but I'm passing some value to the function. The name is a parameter. You want to pass more, age also. But one thing you must remember, Here variable type is not there. That's why in the name you can pass string, you can pass a number, you can pass anything. But you are using two arguments. One is name, one is age. Based on your requirement, you can use in any way. So indentation you must start. Okay, so I'm writing the first line. Print of name is comma name. Just I'm printing the name. Print of age is age. So it is the second type of function which will take some input. It taking two arguments, name comma age as input. The function name is greet. Okay, so here we are giving indentation, nothing but it is the beginning and it is the ending of the function. This is the function beginning and ending. Now we are coming back to the first line, first column. So then is nothing but main program. So whenever you want to use this, you can use greet. The first argument you must supply. If you did not provided any arguments, then it will raise an error. Then it will raise an error. Python function with parameters. So what it is giving? It is raising an error. Because of what error it is giving? The greet function missing two required arguments. Means the Python is intelligent. Whenever you called, the function definition contain name and age. You must supply, otherwise it will raise an error. So in the first argument place, I am providing Rama and comma. In the second argument place, I am providing 45. So nothing but I pass it two arguments. It represents name will be stored in name and age will be stored in age. These are all using here. This point is, I hope that everyone clear. So what I am passing here, it is giving to the passing to the our function definition. It's clear? Now I'm saving this program and I am again running. Now it is simply printed name is Rama and age is 45. Nothing but this is also a function. This is also a function. Function name is, what is the function name? Greet. And parameters are name comma
Name and age.
age is nothing but arguments. So it arguments under mano. So it is function definition and it is function calling. So this is about the function with parameters. Okay, but at present we are taking the input and printing directly itself. But I want to return something. Instead of printing here, I want to do some, I'm taking some X and Y values. I want to return some result. Instead of printing directly in the function definition. So another way of function. Function with parameters and return. This is the complete function. So this is nothing but a complete function we are going to write. For example, def is the reserved word. It is mandatory for every function. And function name is, for example, sum is the function name. And I'm taking x comma y comma z. So I'm taking three arguments. The column is nothing but beginning of the function. Indentation, indirectly, it telling that started the first line of the function. So I'm creating some res variable is equal to x plus y plus z. I made some calculation and simply I am using return res. Now in this case, I am not printing anything here. In this case, I am not printing anything here. So here function name is function name is the sum. And arguments are x comma y comma z, and the function giving return. So whenever we are going to a marriage or something, so you are going and giving your attendance as a input and present your present there. And when you are coming back from the function, they will give some return gift. So return gift is nothing but like this. After completing the function, it is giving something. It is nothing but return. Return is nothing but, so our returning result, RES, is the return. How to use this function? So whenever you want to use this function, you can call sum of the first arguments 23, 34, 56. But it is returning something. It is not printing anything. It is returning something. So that return is integer. You know, it is a number. Otherwise, you want to catch it result, or RESULT, result equal to. Means what the sum function return, you are storing in result variable, and you can print it. The result is this. The first, you need to understand this function. It is very clear. So 23 is saved in X, 34 saved in Y, 56 saved in Z, and it is processing something, and it is returning the return variable stored in result. The return variable stored in result. Whenever you will call your function, so it will pass these values to this, and it will do something, and it will return something. This will be stored in result variable. I am printing that variable. I hope that this is clear. ఇది అర్థమైందండి. This point is clear.
Yes, sir.
Function underscore. So whenever we will call, it return is giving 113. So what is a reusability? Reusability is nothing but the same function I can call 2 times or 3 times or n number of times. But each time I can give the different input. Now I want to give 1, 4, 56. I want to give 3, 4, 6 as another time. But every time the same function code can be called and evaluated the given values, and result will be printed. It is nothing but repeatedly reusable ga manam code ni rastunnam. The first time it is given 113, second time it is given 61, and third time it is given 30. But I return the function is one time, but I called 3 times. You can call it lakhs of times. Based on your requirement, you can call any number of times. Okay, this is called a function. Function name, the def is the reserved word, and x, y, z are the arguments or the parameters. Our function code is this. To understand, I written one line functions, but in the real time, you can write any lengthy lines, maybe 100, 200, 1000 lines of functions also you can write. But to understand, we are writing the 1 line, 2 lines of codes, but the function will return this. Okay. Next important function is function with return value. Just now we understand. Next, types of functions in Python. The first one, built-in function. Anyone know what is a built-in function? Actually, this function is written by ourselves. We are calling. It is called user-defined functions and custom functions. We are writing our own function and we are calling as per our requirement. But built-in functions is nothing but Python have inbuilt functions. Python, when they are going to develop the Python language, they given some functions as by default. These are nothing but built-in functions. Actually, we are using several built-in functions, but as a part of functions, I am giving 2 or 3 sample functions. Okay. So for example, x equal to I'm giving so like 23 comma 4 comma something I given. So print of the number of elements in what it is when it is started with square bracket, it is nothing but a list. Okay, number of elements I would like to know. For example, so I'm using, sorry, 1 minute. So I'm taking some more variables to understand. Name equal to, I'm taking Swarnandra, and I'm taking some age equal to 34. So different types I'm taking. Marks equal to 23.4. So actually I would like to explain in different way. I am going to use some inbuilt functions like it is an integer variable. It's a number is nothing but in Python it is a number and it is a string. Okay. Now I'm going to use how many elements in Python. Then I can use length. It is a built-in function. Len is a built-in function. I need to give the list name. The list name is X. Okay. Now I'm going to run this program Python built-in functions. The number of elements is 3. Okay. Like this. So I'm going to tell string length. So number of characters. Number of characters in name. So name contain how many characters? Then I am passing name, length of the name. We can use the length for strings, tuples, and all these purposes. Now it is given 11 characters in a string. So here length is the built-in type. Here len of is built-in function in Python. Similarly, I'm going to use type. Type of is also an operator. So it is also nothing but a built-in function. We can say that it is also a built-in function. So by using this print of is and mocks type. So I can use type of is and type of mocks. So now it is an integer, it is a float. Age type is integer and marks type is float. So here type is also a built-in function. So instead of this directly, I can use something like max value. For example, I can use max of like 23 comma 1 comma minus 23 comma minus 90 comma 0 comma 78. I given the different values. Here the max is also a built-in function. Here the max is also a built-in function. The max value is 78. The max is a built-in function. Similarly, several functions are there, but I would like to tell that some functions only. Okay, I'm not going to deal all the things. It is not a sufficient time to practice. So we can go in deep. So we will understand the different. Min value is minus 90 is the minimum value. So Python have some built-in functions. We did not declare here. We don't provided any definition for length. We don't provided any definition for type. We don't provided definition for max or min. But these are all called built-in functions. An example for built-in functions. So built-in functions is nothing but this is already available in Python. We can directly use in our program. Every function have its own specific purpose. This is the concept of built-in functions. And positional arguments. The next important thing is the positional arguments are keyword arguments. So keyword arguments is nothing but same what the program we understand here. The same program I am taking again, but I'm telling in different way. So it is nothing but like keyword arguments. Keyword arguments dot py. So what is a keyword arguments? Nothing but very simple. No need to worry. Keyword arguments. The Python has the facility basically in the session we understand what we are passing here. It must be first argument we go to x, second argument going to y, and third argument going to z. We discussed it right now. Yes, it is clear. But Python has the facility. You can pass in different way. Y equal to z equal to and x equal to we can pass. Here we are not passing in an order. So first I am providing y value, second I am providing z value, third I am providing x value. But I am providing the values with argument. It is nothing but keyword arguments. Keyword argument nothing but we can pass the values with the variable names. So it is nothing but keyword arguments. On that time, we can supply the values in any order. When you are using argument names, you can pass values in any order. In any order. There is no need to maintain an order. There is no need to maintain an order. Because it is telling directly keyword arguments. Now it is giving the result of 113. It is correct. What happening here? It will check for the first argument. It is we given like y equal to 23. That's why it is directly passed to the y. So whenever it go to the second argument, it is z. That's why it will pass it to z. Third, it is going to the x. That's why it is passed to x. So based on argument names, we can pass. On that time, the advantage is we no need to maintain any specific order because we are providing the variable names. It is nothing but keyword arguments. This point is clear. This point is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The keyword argument is one type of concept. You need to understand. Okay. So these are all functions only. These are all functions only. When in exams, they will ask about functions. You need to write all these types.
Excuse me, sir.
One is pardon
సార్
me.
ఇక్కడ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ అన్న కీవర్డ్ ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేయలేదు కదండి సార్.
Keyword.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు కీవర్డ్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ అని చెప్పారు కదండి సార్.
X, Y, Z are nothing but parameters or arguments.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, X, Y, Z are nothing but parameters or arguments. Already I clearly mentioned this. Parameters name are A's are arguments. In the previous example, I clearly mentioned. Okay, now default argument. Default arguments dot Python. So what is a default argument? For example, I want to write a display college details. It is my function name. I'm giving very lengthy. Okay, so I want to pass C name is nothing but college name. When declaration time, the definition itself, I'm providing Swarnandra. It is nothing but default. Location. Okay, so location, I did not provided anything. Okay, now I am simply printing here. The college name is CNAME and print the location is one minute. For example, if I did not provide it, so first in this case we need to understand 2 points. Why the address is giving error and what is the default one. Okay, so first of all I'm reviewing this and I'm explaining the CNAME. Later I will add it. Okay, so what is the default argument? So argument giving with the default value, it is nothing but default argument. Default argument is nothing but argument giving with default value. So actually I need to provide CNAME, the college name, but I did not provide it. In the previous case, you already observed, whenever I passed a variable, if I did not supply value, it is given an error. But right now I'm trying to execute this program. So it is printing Swarnandhra. It is not provided any error. Okay. So if I provided Swarnandhra College, okay, then I'm executing this. Then it is provided Swarnandhra College. If I provided University College, for example, I provided. So I hope that you understand. Here, if it did not supplied anything, by default it is printing Swarnandhra. If you supplied anything, it will print that one. This is nothing but default argument. Okay, if I did not provided anything here, by default it will take default value of Swarnandhra. So now I run, it will print Swarnandhra. If I provided anything, I provided SCET. So now it will use SCET instead of Swarnandhra. So the default value purpose is if we forgot any value, then it automatically takes from the default. Why the address is given an error? Because, for example, you want to use the default one. Now you passed this get. So what it need to understand, whether it is both are strings actually, what it need to understand, it is taken to the CNAME or it is taken to the address. So it is in confusion. That's why we never used the arguments after the default values. Okay, after the default values, we cannot use any arguments. If I want to use arguments in the same function, so then I am trying address, comma. Now it is not giving any error because of first you must supply the address, then you can take the choice. You can provide it or not, your own choice. So that's why address you can use beginning. Default values always use end of the arguments, not beginning of the arguments. This is most important one you need to remember. Whenever you want to use arguments, you must supply after the parameters, after the normal parameters. This is the important point. అర్థమవుతుందండి మీకు ఇది ఇక్కడ ఏం చెప్తున్నామంటే డిఫాల్ట్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఆర్ parameters. సో యాక్చువల్లీ ఇన్ సి లాంగ్వేజ్ మేబీ మీకు కన్ఫ్యూజన్ రావడానికి పెద్ద విషయం కాదు. వీటిని మనం ఇక్కడ నుంచి పాసింగ్ వాల్యూస్ అలా వాడతాం. యాక్చువల్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్, ఫార్మల్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ అలా వాడతాం. అందుకని మీకు ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్కి పారామీటర్కి కన్ఫ్యూజన్ వచ్చి ఉండొచ్చు. అది విషయం కాదు. బోత్ ఆర్ అన్ని ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్, వీటినే పారామీటర్స్ అంటాడు పైథాన్లో అంతే. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ ఎప్పుడు కూడా డిఫాల్ట్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ ఆర్ పారామీటర్స్ ఎక్కడ ఉండాలి? ఆఫ్టర్ నార్మల్ పారామీటర్స్ తర్వాత ఉండాలి. నార్మల్ పారామీటర్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? అడ్రస్, ఏజ్, అయితే ఎస్టాబ్లిష్డ్ ఇయర్. సో ఇలా అన్ని అయిపోయిన తర్వాత లాస్ట్ లో మనం డిఫాల్ట్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ వాడాలి. సో ఇలా వాడడం వల్ల మెయిన్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటి? ఆల్రెడీ వి టోల్డ్ వెరీ క్లియర్లీ, ఇఫ్ యూ యూజ్డ్ దిస్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్? ఇట్ మస్ట్ బి అడ్రస్. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఇక్కడ ఖచ్చితంగా ఒకటి వాల్యూ ఇచ్చాము అంటే it must be an address. Now, the first argument always passed to the address. If you did not provide the second argument, it considers that they used the default one. They used the default one. So now it is printed college name is Swarnandra and Sitaramparam is the address. Because of that's why default arguments after the regular arguments. After the regular arguments. This is important note in the default arguments. This point is clear or any doubt? This point is clear? So next one is variable length arguments. The next one is variable length arguments. We can pass any number of arguments. There is no limitation. It is nothing but variable length arguments. Variable length arguments, the definition, you can write, for example, you want to use sum of star numbers. Otherwise star num. So I used star. I used star. What is the meaning of star? So in Python here, if you mention it is not a pointer variable, Python don't have that type of concept. So that's why here the star is representing, the star representing variable length. The star representing variable length. You can pass any number of arguments. You can pass any number of arguments. Okay, that's why I'm using return. For example, I'm using sum. That's why I'm using num. Sum is a function. Default function, sum is there. That's why you can use my sum for avoid the confusion. Any doubt? Any doubt in the previous function or in this? Any doubt? The sum is built-in function. What is star num? Star num represents any number of arguments. Example, it denotes num0 first argument, num2, 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 like this, etc. Arguments it will take internally. It will consider like that. Internally, it will consider like that. So now my sum, you can pass 1, 2. Then it will work for this. Result equal to my sum. Print of the result is this. Okay. So the result is 3. So if I using the same program, 3, I can use 4. I can use 5 numbers. You can give any numbers, different numbers also you can give. The one program you are writing for the any number of arguments. The one program. Simply the star represents, it will take any number of arguments. In the first case, it taken 2 arguments. Here it taken 2 arguments or 2 parameters. Here it taken 3 parameters. So 3 arguments. Here it taken 4 arguments. Here it taken 5 arguments. It taken 5 arguments. But my program contain only one variable. It is nothing but star num. The star num represents any number of variable length of arguments. If you provided 1, 2, then what happened? So num of 0 will store 1, num of 2, so num of 1 will store like this. If like this continuously, it will store. So any number of variables it will create. Like this. It will create any number of variables. Only the star num. You can give any name. I am given number, you can give X, you can Y, you can give marks, anything you can give. So this one variable is sufficient. If you pass it 2 arguments, it will create num of 0 and num of 1. If you pass it 3 arguments, it will create num of 0, 1, 2. If you pass it 4 arguments, then it will create num of 0, num of 1, num of 2, num of 3. If you pass it 5 arguments, then it will create num of 0, num of 1, num of 2, num of 3, num of 4. Like this, based on your supplied values, it will work. It is nothing but variable length arguments. It is nothing but variable length arguments. This point is clear or any doubt? If it is clear, I can continue to the next topic. These are the most important functions. These points are clear. These points are clear or any doubt?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. Now we are discussing about recursive function. So in the recursive function, we need to understand 2 important things. The base and recursive function. base and recursive function. What is a recursive function contains? Recursive function is also a function which contains two parts. A function calling itself is nothing but recursive function. When you are writing a recursive, we need to consider two things. One is base case and another one is recursive case. So when you are working with the recursive function, we need to understand two things. What is the base case and what is the recursive case? For example, I'm taking the value of factorial, an example. For example, n factorial is nothing but 4 factorial is equal to 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So how it is calculated? So how we can work with the recursive function? So every recursive function contains two parts. One is base case and another one is recursive case. The base case and a recursive case. So base case already condition where you need to stop. The base case always discuss about with you. Base case always tell a condition that stops the recursion. Base case is nothing but a condition that stops recursion. So the concept enti ante a function calling itself. It is calling continuously means whenever it need to stop, it tell about the base case. Whenever it need to stop, tell about it tells base case. Base case is nothing but when the recursive function should stop. And the actual recursive concept is nothing but recursive. So it calls itself. So it calls itself. So every recursive function contains two things. One is base case, another one is recursive case. Base case ఏం చెప్తుందంటే ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఎప్పుడు ఎగ్జిట్ అవ్వాలి అనేది. రికర్సివ్ కేస్ ఏం చెప్తుందంటే ఇట్ కాలింగ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ దానికి అదే కాల్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. సో ఇన్ అవర్ కేస్ whenever the n value reaches to 1 or 0, it must stop. It is nothing but the base case. Otherwise, it need to call itself. Def factorial so factorial of and I am giving. Otherwise, I can simply give the fact. Okay. So first condition I need to write the base case. The first point I need to write the base case when it need to stop. Because the base case is important. The base case is important. Otherwise, it will call iteratively itself with infinitive times. It never ends. That's why whenever a recursive function you are going to write, you must first think about when the recursive function should exit or terminate or stop. So that's why I'm writing whenever n is equal to 1, it need to stop. Return 1 means it never calls a function itself. Otherwise, it calls n into factorial of n minus 1. Nothing but it is calling itself. So try to understand this. For example, 4 is the input. 4 is the input. Assume 4 is the input. So 4 is equal to 1. No, condition fails. That's why it contains 4 into fact of 4 minus 1 is nothing but 3. Again, 4 into, it is a factorial 3. So 3 is equal to 1? No. So that's why else case 3 into fact of 3 minus 1. 3 into fact of 3 minus 1 is 2. Again, it is a factorial function. The 2 is input now. 2 equal to 1. So it failed. So else case. So 4 into 3 into, and factorial 2 is nothing but 2 into 2 minus 1. Nothing but fact of 1. So again it called factorial. So 1 equal to 1. Condition satisfied. So in the place of factorial 1, we are replacing 1 because it is returned 1. This condition is succeeded. Now it is not calling the factorial. Now the total result is 4 into 3 into 1. Okay. So 4 into, so 24 is the answer will be given. So in this case, it is nothing but base case. It is nothing but recursive case. Whenever you are going to write any recursive function, you must think about 2 points. One is base case, another one is a recursive case. Without base case, you cannot write a recursive function. Base case always deals about whenever you want to exit from the recursive function, the base case directs how to exit, how to terminate from the recursive calls. So that's why the base is very, very important. This point is clear. This point is clear or any doubt? So this point is clear or any doubt?
Sir,
If you are not
Yes,
interested, don't waste my time.
excuse me, sir.
If you are not
Sir.
interested, don't waste my time.
సార్ ఇక్కడ ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ లూప్ తీసుకుని ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ సార్.
Tell me.
సార్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఐఎమ్ వెరీ న్యూ టు ద పైథాన్. సో కొంచెం డౌట్స్ సిల్లీగా ఉంటే ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ. సార్ ఇక్కడ ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ కేస్ తీసుకున్నాం కదా సార్. ఫర్ సార్
ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ కి న్యూనా, పైథాన్ కి న్యూనా?
పైథాన్ కి సార్.
ఓకే, టెల్ మీ నౌ.
సార్ ఇక్కడ ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ కేస్ తీసుకున్నాం కదండి సార్.
ఏం కేసు అది?
ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ బేస్ కేస్ కి ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ తీసుకున్నాం కదండి సార్.
అవును.
ఫర్ లూప్ కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చా సార్?
Very simple. If you are intelligent, you can take anything.
ఓకే సార్.
If you are intelligent, you can take anything.
ఓకే,
I am
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
telling very clearly, the recursive function contains 2 parts. One is
Yes, sir.
base case, another one is recursive case. You can write
Yes,
in
sir.
for loop, you can write in anything.
ఓకే సార్.
But on that case, how you will call a function itself? If you take in a for loop,
ఎస్ సార్.
a function cannot call itself. Are you understand?
ఎస్ సార్. ఎస్ సార్.
So that's why you must use like this type of concept only. For is iteratively it will do. You can write the base case, nothing but you can terminate part you can write. But a function
sir.
calling itself, it is not possible.
ఓకే సార్.
I hope that you understand. Here I
Yes,
am
sir,
not
yes, sir.
writing the for loop. The return is very intelligent here. Actually, I
Okay,
am
sir.
writing in 4 lines, but it will evaluate in 1 iteration. ఒక లైన్ లోనే
Yes, sir.
ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ జరుగుతుంది అది యాక్చువల్ గా. మీకు అర్థం
yes, sir.
కావడం కోసం ఇక్కడ నేను 4 లైన్స్ లో రాశాను కానీ యాక్చువల్ ఇటరేషన్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్ ఇన్ 1 లైన్.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
Okay. First, here in this case, you need to remember recursive contains 2 parts. One is base case, another one is recursive case. This is very important in this section. So always base case will tell about when it need to terminate. The recursive case always tells about a function calling itself. దానికి అది కాల్ చేసుకోవడానికి రికర్సివ్ కేస్ మాట్లాడుతుంది. ఎప్పుడు టెర్మినేట్ అవ్వాలనేది బేస్ కేస్ మాట్లాడుతుంది. These two things are very important in the recursive functions. And the next thing, lambda functions. What is that? Lambda functions. So a one-line functions. So one-line Python functions, you can write anything in single line. Lambda function, they named it like this. Nothing but one-line functions. If you want to write immediate evaluations, but you don't have the, you don't require any separate definition. One-line calculation purpose, most widely will use this lambda. For example, I want to calculate square value for the given. Then you can write lambda and what you're going to give input and what you're going to get. So x square I want to, okay, I want x square. If I give an x, it need to provide x square. Like these are, this is the input, this is the response. Okay, so lambda a type of function. The function name is x square. The function name is x square. Simply, you can use it, print off x square. If I provided 5, it will return 5 square. So 25. If you provided 15, it will provide 15 square. So one-line evaluation purpose. In this case, x square is, for understanding purpose, function name is x square is equal to lambda is a reserved. This is nothing but input argument, output. Simply to understand, input colon, output. What you are going to give an input and you can give output. For example, if you want to give one or more arguments, is it possible actually in Python or not? So lambda, if you want to pass with the two different arguments, so you can pass it by using comma separator. By using comma separator. For example, xy square you want, xy square. Then you want to pass two arguments, x comma y, two inputs. These are two are input parameters. This is response. For example, I want x power y. So x power y is the function. X power y is the function. So input I am giving two arguments. Output I am using 2. So I can write anything. But you can pass it. In the lambda functions, you can pass more than one argument also. So the print of x power y is x power of, I can pass it two arguments, 15 power 2. So in this case, 15 is nothing but x, 2 is nothing but y. So two arguments you can pass. This is nothing but function name. Function name. So it is about lambda function. If you want to write any function in one line, then you must use lambda. It is better and faster than normal functions. So you can use it So then 225 and here. So the same program I written with one argument with two argument. These are all about functions in Python. Functions in Python. This part is clear. I will provide all the programs to you. Don't worry, but you must practice it. When if they ask about writing about functions, you need to tell all these types. All these types you need to explain. All these types you need to explain. So these are the main things. If it is okay, can I continue with the modules? Can I continue with the Python modules? So modules is nothing but collection of functions, but you can use export and import. Okay. For example, I'm writing my math.py. So my file name is mymath.py. mymath.py. So I can write different definitions here. So add of a comma b. So I'm writing a function and it will return a plus b. Def mult a comma b, like division, subtraction. So I written 4 functions. One is sub is a function, div is a function, multi is a function, add is a function. So like this, I can write any number of functions, but my module is nothing but what is the Python program name? My math. It is nothing but module name. File name, what you are giving, it is nothing but module name. So in my math.py, so this my math is the module name. This point is clear. First of all, what is a module? The file name. What is the file name you are providing here? It is nothing but module. The file name is nothing but module. This point is clear or any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Okay. So what is the purpose of modules? For example, if you return functions in one program, you can use in another program with the name of module. It is simple and very easy in Python. Use mymath.py. I can give any name. So I can import this module. I can import this module, import my math. So both should be in the same directory. Both should be in the same directory. Simply I'm using the sum of two numbers is comma add of 234 comma 45. Actually, the add is not a function available in this program, but it is available in my math. So I can use my math dot add of. So very clear. I can use the functions written in another file. I can import and use in another file. So what is that? It is giving the sum of two numbers my math.py add of AB written. Okay, it is returning. So that's why we need to use correctly. అడే లేదంటుంది ఇది. One minute.